Hey everybody, welcome to Visual Communication Immediate. My name is Adam Rozeski. It's a pleasure to see each and every one of you. I hope everybody's having a great week. Welcome to the end of week 2. Figure I followed up with some things, how perception kind of ties to emotion and also tied into sensory communication in a lot more ways than one. Just want to give everybody a heads up. So I finished all the written assignments and I was so close to finishing the discussions until my son had a lot of... he was in a lot of pain last night with some issues when he was sick. So I got about 6 left on the discussions. I'm going to try and finish them up tonight. That way y'all have them and then you should be good. And then I saw a couple other people just turn in some late written assignments. I'll get to those over the weekend and have those caught up. So everything should be fully caught up and everything. One thing I did notice was a few people didn't read the instructions and didn't go over my lecture notes and everything and the written assignments. Please keep in mind, that assignment for week 1 was you're supposed to analyze 9 images and 3 for each section for color, line, and balance to provide how these images do a good job of showing color, line, and balance. And you're supposed to analyze them and provide examples from the visuals and how it works and compare them to other areas. So please make sure you take a look at some other things. Also, one other thing I noticed was about a third of the class used bullet points and numbering. Please don't use bullet points and numbering. That causes your paper to become an outline and feels unfinished in a lot of ways. So I'd like to see full documents next time. So just want to give a heads up, some stuff I noticed from the assignment that were really common to go from there. So also keep in mind, I also post the lecture slides and an example of a 100 in my class for your written assignments on the lecture slide. So just please make sure you take a look at that. We'll be good to go. But other than that, figure let's get into it and let's get started. So also another thing, I have unlimited turn-ins. So if you want to fix your assignments and make sure they're turned in, let me know when you do that. And then I will grade the updated versions of them. And then we'll update the grade and all that for us. So because I want to make sure you get the best grade possible. I also give very thorough feedback, but I give you a lot of chances for you to make the grade up and make it better. So keep that in mind. Other than that, let's get into it. So this week we're finishing our trek into the first week of perceptual responses. We'll finish the second week next week with signs, symbols, and semiotics. But I figure we talk about responses, stimuli, how do they play a part, and how emotional responses tie into perception. A lot of times with perceptual communication, we tend to see how they work with a lot of different types of response types. They work with sensory response types. They work with emotion and ethical. We're going to talk a little bit about emotion today and how it ties into those last elements of perception. So much like culture, emotion plays a large role in shaping our perceptions. Color affects emotion, but we can expand this to other areas of visual preference, such as our emotional perceptions, which are shaped visually through color, lighting, persuasive images, and so much more. In our 5th week, we're going to talk about persuasive images and how it ties to emotional communication in more ways than one. For example, when we take a look at perception and how it ties into emotion a little bit, we can see stuff that is straightforward and to the point like engagement advertisements, or we can see something that's a little bit more subtle and kind of hidden in there. For example, a lot of charity events put buttons on the screens or have applications or everything ready to go for people so that they can help out, provide, and donate today to help their cause. They'll usually put like a sad puppy or a very adorable puppy or sad children or something to help the cause, to kind of trigger on your emotional tug. Now, others are a little bit subtle, especially like the Toblerone ad where they put the bear in there hidden in the mouths and everything, and how Toblerone has the letters for bear in Swiss. So that's a big thing right there. But we also have to consider that colors affect moods, and we talked about that in sensory responses last week where we talked about red and blue and how people feel when they take a look at these things. And surprisingly enough, visual perception is the process of what we see that is influenced by culture and emotion. And a lot of times our perceptions on how we see colors are triggered by our cultures and how we view it. For example, Western cultures, we see red as a warning sign and tied to blood and life and a very fast, loud color, where others consider it a royalty color in a lot more ways than one instead of purple. Who we are as individuals based on our experiences helps shape what we find appealing or not, and that's how we respond cognitively. Colors give emotions and responses all the time, much like sensory response due to a perceptual experience. Red is angry, yellow is nervous, sad is blue, pink is love. They're all tied to specific areas, so that's something to keep in mind with. Other than that, That's all I got. So, wanted to give you guys a heads up, give everyone a good start in the week. Keep in mind your reply posts for your discussion posts are due by the end of the night, Saturday night. And then your written assignment and your live lecture assignments are due by the end of the night, Sunday night. Please make sure you turn in your live lecture assignments by Sunday night because it'll automatically be a fail if you don't because it's tied to attendance. That's the big thing. Remember, 1 to 2 sentences of what we talked about specifically in week 2, and that's what we're focused on. Other than that, that's all I got. So be safe, have fun, enjoy. Hope everybody has a great week. If you need anything, let me know. Other than that, thanks for being awesome. All right, take it easy, everybody. Bye.